And welcome back after a long hiatus to Film in Minnesota. I'm Rahana Power.
I'm Alan Tracy.
You are! This is so exciting.
Yeah. So this is our first remote podcast.
It is. We are hoping that it's going to go well. We'll see. We learn as we go, but we miss everyone and providing you with some entertainment in the film community. So let's give it a whirl.
Yeah. We can start by picking up a little bit where we left off, which was in March.
So long ago.
Yeah, 2 months since our last recording.
Yeah, which is so crazy because it feels like, I don't know, saying March makes it feel like it's been so much longer than it has, but like looking back, it feels like it's been way longer than just 2 months.
Right.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, I think it's, there's a lot that has happened, obviously. Mm-hmm. We were talking about doing this theme show, which is going to be about sports movies.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll get to that. We have a bracket that we posted on our Instagram and Facebook.
A very exciting bracket that I have very strong feelings about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I want to start with where I was just before I went to Scream It Off Screen. It was our last day of recording, which was beginning of March. So that was probably the last public screening since this all started. Mm-hmm. I don't know when we'll get back to that type of thing again. But
how did it go?
It was an experience.
And you had a film that was screening, correct?
Yes, it was January. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so tell us about it.
Oh boy.
All the gory details.
I remember my film was like maybe the second or third film up. Mm-hmm. I'm glad it wasn't the first.
That's understandable.
And then they like, if the filmmaker's there, you go up and kind of talk about your film and then go sit down again. Just kind of introduce it, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I did. I introduced This Is January, a film about a young man who remembers a love he once had. As I was walking back, I remember they started the film because I was like, So my composer, Oni,
mm-hmm. Who we've had on the show.
We've had on the show. He saved me a seat before we got there. And it was right in the middle of the auditorium.
Of course. Naturally.
That was like the most awkward place to be as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
In this environment for the first time.
Just surrounded by everyone who's going to critique you. Yeah.
Yes. So that was very nerve-wracking. But as I was walking back, I heard an audible ooh for the opening title of Colliding Pictures.
Nice.
So I took that as a good sign.
Absolutely.
Which is always good to hear, but I was just kind of like, can I sit down?
Right, yeah. Like, not yet.
Yeah. But it helped, set the tone early. Mm-hmm. And then they have this red light illuminate the gong, like 3 or 4 minutes in.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
That means the audience then has the opportunity to yell gong, which is basically, we've had enough of this.
Oof, that's so harsh.
Or if someone does say that, then you say let it play.
Okay.
So, and then they kind of take that night they kind of did like a stand-up poll. Like, if you stood up, it meant you want it to play. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't, you obviously didn't want to.
Alan's just standing the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
I was trying not to ruin the curve, except for my film, of course. I
right.
Stand for
naturally.
But yeah, from what I could tell, majority of people stood. So that was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But here's the thing. It took like a minute for people to either start saying gong, because the light was illuminated for what felt like forever.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like looking at it like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, I can imagine like when it's your project, like your film, and you're just like, what is happening? Versus
Right.
I'm sure if it's any other film, you're just like, oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. But as the night progressed, people got more and more drunk and hostile, perhaps. But
So it's
so
a
you
good
have a
thing
better
you were
shot
early.
if it's early. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. So I assume with it being called Scream It Off Screen, there is some form of yelling, potentially screaming that takes place?
Oh, you can, yes, yell gong. I mean, there were some films, once that light came on, it was gong time.
Oof.
They would yell gong,
Oh, so they yell, like
Yeah.
they go for it. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Well, it's, it was an interesting night. There were 50-50 gong, so.
I feel like that's the in-person version of reading the comment section
Yeah,
of
it
something.
could be.
Like it can go well and you're curious and you want to know, but it's also kind of terrifying and it can go really badly and you can just be like,
Oh, yeah.
what the hell?
It definitely gives a stage for the haters, for sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But it went well for you.
Yeah, luckily. Because the first film got gonged, and the second one almost got gonged. So,
Well, that sounds like a pretty cool experience.
yeah. That was fun. I would do it again, but I would pick my own seat. So.
That I can understand.
Right up front. No.
Yeah, right dead center, front row.
Yeah, because when the light came on for some of them, it felt like a tidal wave of gong behind me. It was just like, ooh. When you're in surround sound now.
Oh,
Sitting in the middle of
gosh.
that auditorium.
No kidding. Is it a pretty big venue? Like,
It was at the Parkway Theater.
okay, yep.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, that sounds pretty cool. Especially for like one of the last things that you're able to do, before all of this happened. That's
I
a cool
know.
experience, yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And who would have known? 2 months later, this is where we're at.
Yeah. We're at a stay-at-home order. Rahana, how are you doing with that? What have you been up to?
Really good question. I have not honestly been doing much. I have gone into like extreme isolation. Like I will go to the grocery store once a week when we've pretty much run out of things. I try desperately to stay away from people. I have not been. I'll occasionally go on like a walk, like 2 days a week, because I need to get outside and I need to do something and move. And I feel like it's easy enough to, if someone's walking towards you or close to you, to just move so you're not close to them. So there haven't been too many people out. Now that it's getting nicer out, it's a little more difficult. And people, as I'm sure you and we've all noticed, are becoming stupid to put it very bluntly. And they're just like, no, this isn't a thing anymore. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to stay away from people. Like they're sneezing on people, like, just all this stupid stuff. Yeah, I've seen some characters. And I also live in a college town, which doesn't help. So a lot of the kids are just like, hey, we're young. It's not affecting us. So that's kind of a struggle. But so I'm not really doing much, which is difficult because I would love to be getting outside all the time and, miss my friends and I miss the podcast and all these things. But
Right.
I am not looking forward to going back to regular life right now because I don't think that even when we do, that it's going to be safe, if that makes sense. So I'm anticipating feeling like this and essentially doing this long after our stay-at-home orders are cut off Like I'm pretty much in the mindset of the rest of the year, this is sort of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but I also don't want to die or cause anyone else to die. So there we have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And FaceTime and phone calls have been a blessing. So I'm really excited that we're doing this too. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
How about you? How have you been doing? What have you been up to, if anything?
Yeah.
'Cause you're still
Binging
working.
a lot of things. Yeah. We'll see how long that goes for.
Aw.
But yeah, I've been working still, so life is semi-normal. But binging a lot of series, rewatching things, and getting a chance to write and edit and try to tap into some more creativity, but it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
I don't think it's I don't know, it's very much kind of a fight or flight mentality mode that I think we're all in.
Yes.
That's kind of a survival instinct type of thing, but it's a more nuanced now. So same with like I agree with you. Like I did a recent ask of the kind of a film community, and a lot of people are of the same mind that there's no assurances that you'll be okay if you go out.
Yeah.
So or if you work, so I think it's just it's like with productions being shuttered from Hollywood to indie, it's just I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a new challenge, but it's also not likely to get back to production anytime soon for things. Which is unfortunate because I had a production one day away from completion.
Oh.
Right before as it was announced, it was basically the last day of production, so we decided not to. Presuming it only lasted through that month, but it didn't.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So,
That's the hardest thing, is like the unknown of it all. Because as much as everyone would love to say, well, it's going to be done, we're going to be back in a month, or like, hey, the stay-at-home order is done as of, I think, next week, which is fine and dandy, but then when is it actually safe to resume those things? And do you, like, at what point are people that are actually taking everything seriously going to say, okay, well, we need to resume anyway, so how do we do so safely? Like, it's I don't know, it's such a sensitive and unprecedented thing. It's pretty terrifying. Yeah, I'm sort of trying to just keep the mindset that things are never going to be normal again. We will just adapt at some point, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon when that adaptation happens.
Right, because the rollout of even if we do find the vaccine option, the rollout of it would take at least a year, maybe more.
Yep.
So
yeah, and at that point, without getting super political on our podcast, do you trust the current administration to be the ones who are going to like fight to get this vaccination made in the appropriate manner so that it's actually safe? Because are they doing that, or are they going to try and get it done as quickly as possible so that everyone can have it and think that we're okay? And at that point, like, I don't want to be one of the first people to get it, I think is what I'm saying.
You don't want to be a part of the first wave?
Yeah, I'd rather just stay at home for an extra couple months, see how it goes, and go from there. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I would also like all of our listeners to do the same, all of our friends and family, our loved ones. But yeah, so that's, I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to keep the mentality, and then if things turn out better than that, then that's great. And if they turn out that way, then, at least expectations were realistic. And at least we can continue to have FaceTimes and Zoom calls and send pictures and do phone podcasts and hear each other talk and all of those fun things. Because I think those are the life-saving things that we are able to do right now while we hang out at home. Yeah.
Well, I guess we can move on to our sports bracket now.
OMG, Ellen. Yes, let's do it. Okay. I have so many thoughts.
This bracket is brought to you by Emagine Theatres. If I can find...
I really wanted to do like a jingle just then when you said that with their name, but I don't know if they have a jingle, and if they don't, like, should we create... Like, that was my automatic reaction to you saying Emagine Theatres.
Yeah, because Emagine is, from what I know about them, at least locally, they have a few theaters in the cities. Mm-hmm. They posted to their Instagram the sports bracket, movie bracket. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go through that. So this bracket is courtesy of Emagine Theatres. They currently are doing popcorn sales, like curbside sales, Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays from noon to 6, and Saturdays noon to 4. So if people are interested and still want some movie popcorn, that's one way they can still obtain some while they're staying home.
Which is so cool, because who doesn't love movie theater popcorn?
Right.
Like, go support them in the way that you can. Buy some movie theater popcorn, go home, throw on a sweet, awesome film that you love watching, or maybe a brand new film that you're excited to watch, or Trolls World Tour, because, kids, and just have some movie theater popcorn and, like, turn the lights off and relax in your chair or couch, and it'll feel like that experience just a little bit more. Like, that is so cool.
Yeah, make some nachos.
There you go.
What else do they have at the theater? Hot dogs?
My go-to at the movie theater is always the pretzel bites, the little, like, soft pretzels.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. Every single time.
With cheese,
I can't not. Like, oh, my goodness.
And, I'm sure they sell the candy, too, there, but...
Yeah. Who has room for the candy after all that popcorn?
And then, of course, your favorite soda. At a much lower price. Oh.
Naturally. All right.
Anyways.
So this bracket is pretty dope. Let's start left side going down.
Okay.
Alan, give me your picks.
In the first matchup, or let's do kind of that first quarter quadrant.
Okay.
We have Miracle versus Goon, 2 hockey movies. We have I, Tonya and The Cutting Edge.
Now, I have never heard of The Cutting Edge. Have you heard of this movie?
Oh, yes, I have.
Okay, what is it?
It's a figure skating movie.
That makes sense.
I think it's John Cusack, and I want to say it was Jennifer Lawrence, but I don't want to get that wrong. But yeah, it's a duo.
Got it.
Figure skating movie. Then Blades of Glory and Mighty Ducks. Moneyball and Field of Dreams. So that's our first quadrant.
Yes. Okay. So what is your pick between Miracle and Goon?
I went Miracle.
Okay. I agree with you on that. That was my pick too. Goon is a good film, but how do you pass up Miracle? Like, what an epic film and story. Oh my God. We actually just watched it not long ago because it's just so good. Between I, Tonya and Cutting Edge.
This one was tough for me because I was young when I watched that, and it was during the Olympic time, kind of. When we had, who was kind of the big figure skaters at that time? I forget. Tonya Harding. No.
Yeah, right.
I'm just kidding. Christy Yamaguchi.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was way off. It was not John Cusack.
Who was it?
Moira Kelly and...
Huh?
Is it...
Oh, it's from 1992.
Yeah, much older, much different.
Yeah.
I was way off, so.
Jennifer Lawrence was like being born during this.
D.B. Sweeney and Moira Kelly, so.
Okay.
My bad.
That's okay. So your pick on that one was...
I went with I, Tonya.
I, Tonya. Yep. Me too. Following suit. All right. Now we're getting a little tricky here. Blades of Glory or The Mighty Ducks?
I went with The Mighty Ducks, but of course I'm a bit biased being from Minnesota, perhaps. But Blades of Glory was funny-ish.
Yeah. Fun fact, I hate Blades of Glory.
Oh.
There are like 3 Will Ferrell movies that I cannot watch, and I love Will Ferrell, because who doesn't love Will Ferrell? Also, if you are listening and you don't love Will Ferrell, please don't ever admit that you don't love Will Ferrell. Anyway, but I cannot stand that movie. Which is funny because one of the other films of his that I don't like is on this list. But so I haven't even seen The Mighty Ducks, I will admit that, and I still picked The Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. Now this one contains 2 of my favorite films. So this one was tricky. Moneyball and Field of Dreams.
Which one did you go with?
Seriously, it took me so long to make this decision, and then another decision later on.
Yep.
So hard. But I went with Moneyball. Again, probably for the nostalgia of the fact that it's about my baseball team.
Oh, okay.
It's about the Oakland A's, and I effing love the Oakland A's with all of my heart and soul. So I'm guessing that's why, but that's, yeah. How about you?
That was tough for me too. Both very good films. I too went with Moneyball after a back and forth.
Really?
Yes.
I'm very curious what made you pick, because I feel like most other people would pick Field of Dreams, which I can also understand. But what made you pick Moneyball?
Well, what I did was kind of look back, because I remember the films, but I just wanted kind of a reminder. I looked at kind of both trailers again, and I just liked the way Moneyball was put together. So, yeah.
It was so good.
The
soundtrack is also phenomenal. If anyone wants something really soothing to listen to, I Spotify that all the time. It's so good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Okay. And then next quadrant, we have The Natural and The Sandlot.
Excellent movies.
A League of Their Own and Bad News Bears. $1 Million Baby and Rocky. And The Fighter and Raging Bull.
Some good ones. Some really good ones.
I started with The Sandlot. That advances for me.
Really? Very interesting. Okay. I went with The Natural.
Oh.
Yeah.
For once, we have a difference.
Yeah. Now it gets interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, how do you not go with Robert Redford? I love him, and he's just so good, and it's baseball. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, The Sandlot is also phenomenal, though.
Yeah.
So it was a tough one. What about A League of Their Own versus Bad News Bears?
Both good, but I went with A League of Their Own.
Yes. There we go. And yes. A League of Their Own is a friggin' classic. It's a national treasure. Gina Davis is the best ever.
How about Rocky and $1 Million Baby?
I feel like this is going to be really controversial. I went with $1 Million Baby.
Really?
I did. I like the story. I like that it's not overdone. I love Hilary Swank. Rocky's good. It's good. It is. It's wonderful. But I feel like everyone just goes above and beyond for Rocky, and then they're like, and Rocky 2, and Rocky 3, and then Rocky 4 is amazing, and then Rocky 5, and then Rocky 72. And I'm like, all right, I'm done. It's fine. Rocky 1 was good.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, $1 Million Baby is like, good movie, boom, done. And I don't know, I appreciated that. So I went with $1 Million Baby, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only human to do that. So
You went with the Oscar-winning $1 Million Baby. Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
Although I think Rocky won too. So I went with Rocky.
Yeah, understandable. Okay, how about The Fighter versus Raging Bull?
I went with Raging Bull.
That's understandable. I have not seen Raging Bull. And I'm actually a little upset with myself on that one because I really want to. Because Robert De Niro's in that, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So it's the movie I'm thinking of. I definitely want to see it. I have not done so yet. But, yeah. So I went with The Fighter simply because I've seen it. But I could probably easily be swayed against it in this particular situation. So.
Right. So Raging Bull, Scorsese film. Also Joe Pesci. So.
Yeah. Like it sounds like it would be a winner for me. I just went with what I happen to know.
Right. This was obviously early, you know, Scorsese and De Niro, Pesci. So this is before all the, you know, gangster films.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So let's hop. Do we want to keep going on this side or do we want to hop to the other side?
Let's hop to the other side.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our third quadrant is Cinderella Man versus Creed, Remember the Titans versus Rudy, The Blind Side versus Varsity Blues, and Jerry Maguire versus The Longest Yard. Alan, what is your pick between Cinderella Man and Creed?
I went with Creed.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Did you see the second one? Just randomly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Michael B. Jordan is phenomenal.
Right.
Okay. I also went with that. So, moving on. Remember the Titans versus Rudy. I feel like that's kind of a tricky one. That
one was tough. Again, I kind of had to look back at some trailers and think about it a bit more. I went with Remember the Titans, ultimately.
Yeah, me too. It's like one of those classic movies that will never not be amazing. Like it gives you chills every time you watch it.
Yeah.
Like it's too good. All right. The Blind Side versus Varsity Blues. What'd you pick?
This one was tougher for me. I decided to go with Varsity Blues.
Really?
Yeah.
What made you decide that?
Let's see. Well, I mean, James Van Der Beek and I think, John Voight was in there. He was the coach, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I just like that the whole, you know, football's your life, but maybe you don't want it to be your life. You know, it's the way it is maybe in Texas. You know, so.
That makes sense.
Intriguing.
I cared less about both of these movies than I did most of the other ones.
Okay.
So I could go either way. They're fine. I went with The Blind Side, but I like
Sandra Bullock.
Right? Exactly. The thing I don't appreciate about The Blind Side is that the player has come out and stated like that's not actually how all this like 100% like it's not 100% accurate. And so I was like, well, that takes away from it from me, but at the same time I enjoyed that movie. Right, exactly. And I enjoyed it more, so I was like, fine. I don't care.
Well,
that one, yeah.
Yeah, the same thing as like Argo, like half the film isn't really what happened, but you know.
Yeah. But you got to make it entertaining.
Right, there's that.
Yeah. Okay. Jerry Maguire versus The Longest Yard.
I went with Jerry Maguire.
That surprises me. Really?
Oh, really? You think, why was that surprising?
I don't know. I guess because for me, like, yeah, it's a football movie, but also, like, I think of it more as like a bad romance movie.
Oh,
Instead,
that one line. Yeah, of course.
I'm not a huge fan of the film. I'm also not a huge fan of Tom Cruise, so that doesn't help. I'm probably biased against it, but
sure.
But yeah, when I think of the movie, I don't think of the football aspect of it first. And so I think that's why I picked The Longest Yard.
Gotcha.
But you are not the first, because I've gone over this list with my boyfriend, and he also picked Jerry Maguire. So that was very interesting to me.
Yeah.
So let's head down to the fourth quadrant, because a couple of the best movies ever are in this.
Okay. Yep.
One of which is Space Jam. So Space Jam versus Coach Carter. And then we have Air Bud versus Semi-Pro. She's the Man versus Bend It Like Beckham. And then Happy Gilmore versus Caddyshack.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a few amazing films in here. Mm-hmm. So Space Jam and Coach Carter, what did you pick?
Space Jam.
Yeah, you did. Because it's amazing, no matter what older people say.
I like how we also mentioned Space Jam on the last podcast as we were talking about podcasts.
Yeah, we did. And what's funny is I automatically just thought of that exact podcast as we were talking about it now.
And they all didn't like it?
Yeah, they were talking. It's like a movie review, but it's like a funny movie review podcast. And they were like, this is such a terrible movie. I'm like, this movie is a fucking classic.
It's meant to be like that. It's Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Like, it's not supposed to be The Revenant. Like, get over yourself. Like, come on.
The Revenant.
Jesus. Okay. Air Bud versus Semi-Pro.
I just because I hate the other film, I went with Air Bud.
Mm-hmm. So, I have never seen either of these.
Oh, really?
I have negative interest in both of them. I actually refuse to watch both of them. So I don't care who wins this because they will not win the next one. So you can really throw either of them in the winning section.
Air Bud wasn't bad. The first one.
Okay, then we'll go with Air Bud. That's totally fine.
That's like Rocky, I suppose, in your other bracket side, because it's like they made like 7 of these, and there's like no end in sight.
Right. It's like, I get what you're trying to do, but I'm done. Like, I'm
It
over
has a
it.
dog in it, so I mean that's gotta help.
That's true. Dogs are pretty dope. They are the best of us all. Okay. She's the Man and Bend It Like Beckham.
I went with She's the Man.
What? We're talking Amanda Bynes, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I need more information from you.
I don't know. I just picked that. I haven't seen Bend It Like Beckham.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And I like Amanda Bynes. What's wrong with Amanda Bynes?
She's fine. She was really good in All That.
Yeah.
Which somehow came up in a conversation I had the other day in the most random way.
Well, because like,
I don't remember now.
What's his name? Keenan.
Yeah.
He's always
Kenan Thompson?
Yeah, he's on SNL still. He's been on there forever. So it's like he went from All That to SNL, basically.
Yeah. He's amazing. He is, like, I love his life story. It's so freaking fantastic. So I picked Bend It Like Beckham, but again, it's not going to win the next one, so it doesn't really matter.
That's the way I saw these two, these two matchups.
And then 2 classics.
Oh.
Happy Gilmore versus Caddyshack. What's your thought process on this, man?
This one was the hardest one of them all.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this a first round? This should be...
Right? That's what we were saying. Like, this is like a final round. Like, what is happening?
I get it. They're both golf movies, so...
Yeah.
I had to pick one, but it's this broke my heart. I really love Happy Gilmore. Mm-hmm. The whole rhyming.
Yeah.
By the bay. How about some hay? And the... is this the one with Ben Stiller in the nursing home?
Oh,
is that
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
My fingers hurt.
Well, your back's going to hurt. You just pulled landscaping duty. Oh, so good.
Even my friend who hates Ben Stiller loves Ben Stiller in this film.
How do you hate Ben Stiller? He's amazing.
Hey, people are people.
That's true. Also, super quick, sad shout out to the fact that Jerry Stiller just died. What a classic, hilarious human being.
Yep, from Seinfeld to King of Queens.
Yes. That was heartbreaking. Okay.
And I like both those series. Anyways, yes.
Yeah, me too. I really do.
But
okay.
For this one, I had to go with the old SNL crew, Caddyshack. So,
there you go.
I really love this film. Mm-hmm. Ted Knight, just excellent. Yeah. If you ever watch documentaries about how they made Caddyshack, it's just amazing.
I believe that, yeah. This one was really hard for me too. I ended up going with Happy Gilmore, but again,
how dare you?
It can. I expect that response. I think I'm just more familiar with Happy Gilmore. I've seen it so many times. It's something that like is nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's just one of those things. But like I understand how classic Caddyshack is. I get it. So, yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna move down to the next set of brackets. So, do you have yours written down? Because we had a couple that were different. Okay. Cool. So what was your first... Well, our first couple matchups were the same. So Miracle versus I, Tonya. Mm-hmm. What'd you go with?
I went with Miracle.
Samesies.
And then Mighty Ducks versus Moneyball. That I went with Mighty Ducks.
Alan.
It's the Mighty Ducks here in Minneapolis. Yeah.
I mean...
Hometown. I'm a homer.
You are. It's been fun being friends, but whatever.
When they make a Warriors movie, maybe.
There you go.
The Golden State Warriors.
Which they should. So I also went with Miracle, but then I went with Moneyball.
Mm-hmm,
yeah. Okay.
Hometown girl.
Exactly. I can't, I don't know. You can't not. Okay. So the next two sets.
I have Sandlot versus A League of Their Own. Mm-hmm. I went with Sandlot. I don't know how we can be friends after this entire podcast. What do you have here? We have
so
Natural and League of Their Own for you.
Yeah, and I picked The League of Their Own because it's a classic and it's amazing and it's life-changing for me.
So, You're killing me, Smalls. That's all I have to say to you.
I'm okay with that. All right, what'd you do for your next one?
I went with Rocky and Raging Bull. I went with Rocky.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I can see that. Between $1 Million Baby and The Fighter, for me, I went with $1 Million Baby.
Okay.
So that works. All right. So next bracket, Creed and Remember the Titans.
I went with Creed.
That is very interesting. I went with Remember the Titans.
Oh.
Yeah. Again, I feel like it gives me chills, and I will never get over that. It's too amazing. And then what was your next bracket?
Varsity Blues and Jerry Maguire. That one was kind of tough. Every time I think of Varsity Blues, I also remember The Office, when he's making everyone watch the Varsity Blues.
It's so good.
It's Movie Monday. And only
watch
care
20
for
minutes.
The blues. Yeah, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The Monday Blues is Varsity Blues. But I went with Jerry Maguire on that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was between The Blind Side and The Longest Yard, and I went with The Longest Yard. Mm-hmm. Okay, so for the next one, between Space Jam and Air Bud.
Space Jam.
100%. 1,000%.
And then we both know what's happening in the next one.
Yeah.
I had Caddyshack. You had Happy Gilmore.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Back to we're getting there, you guys. We're getting so close. So back to the left.
Miracle and Mighty Ducks. Ooh. What'd you have? What'd you have in yours?
I had Miracle and Moneyball, and I went with Moneyball because I'm a homer all the way.
So you know what I'm about to say.
Yeah, you're going Mighty Ducks for
Mighty
sure,
Ducks,
right?
that's right. The Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, for sure.
Quack, quack.
All right. And then you had what, Rocky and
The Sandlot. Yep. And then I went with Rocky on that.
That is surprising to me. I expected you to go Sandlot. I had Million Dollar Baby and League of Their Own. Went with the League of Their Own.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
100%.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So your next two, what'd you have?
Let's see. Creed and Jerry Maguire. I went with Jerry Maguire.
Wow.
Yeah.
What? Alan, I'm learning so much about you right now. What is happening?
Yeah.
Okay. I had Remember the Titans versus The Longest Yard. Definitely went Remember the Titans. All right.
Okay, that makes sense. Uh-huh.
And then we had one more. Space Jam versus, you had Caddyshack.
Yep,
What'd you pick?
I went with Caddyshack.
Oof. All right. I had Space Jam versus Happy Gilmore. I went with Space Jam.
That makes sense. You've been talking that up for a month.
I'm obsessed. And then, okay, so have you been watching the Michael Jordan documentaries on Wednesday or Sunday nights on ESPN?
I don't have ESPN, no.
Okay, so I think they're also on Hulu or something like that. Like, you can watch them another way, too. Or maybe Netflix? I don't remember. There's some other way. When you can, you should. It's 10 episodes. And they're, first of all, amazing. It's so fascinating. But on top of that, they just talked about Space Jam last weekend, and I was like, oh my God, this is so dope. So yeah. I'm in a nostalgic phase with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you were to imagine, what's a popular cartoon today? Like...
SpongeBob? I have no idea.
You know, like, I don't know. Some cartoon.
Yeah.
Very popular cartoon.
We're such adults. Like, some cartoon.
Whatever the kids are into, you know.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
There you go.
Pokemon and LeBron James. That's basically what this would be like, or something like that.
That sounds like such a terrible movie.
See? That's exactly what other people think of Space Jam.
That's exactly it. Oh, ridiculous. Okay. All right, so we've got the final four. What did you do?
They're
Alan?
all completely different for our final four.
They are, 100%.
So I have Mighty Ducks and Rocky. That's right. I went with the Mighty Ducks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. I'm going to make you do your next two as well.
Okay. So we have Jerry Maguire and Caddyshack. I went with Caddyshack.
Okay, that's the right decision. It took me a really long time to make decisions in this. And my final four. I'm actually really upset that this is my final four and I have to choose between any of these. So I'm going to start on the right side and do Remember the Titans versus Space Jam. Super upset about this. But I went with Remember the Titans.
Oh.
I know. I just oh my God. It was so upsetting. And this one, I wanted this next matchup to be my final two. And it can't. And I'm really unhappy about it. But it's between Moneyball and A League of Their Own. It legitimately took me 5 minutes to make a decision. Because these, I can't, what the, son of a bitch. But I went with Moneyball.
Oh, Moneyball.
It was so hard. But I did. I went with Moneyball.
Yes.
All right. So what are your final two, Alan?
Well, Mighty Ducks and Caddyshack for me.
What do you do there?
And what
a
do you
matchup.
have?
I have Moneyball and Remember the Titans. I also don't think I fully said the word remember, so remember the Titans. Yeah.
Yeah. Two very different playoffs.
100%. We are on opposite ends of the scope here.
I have hockey and golf, and you have baseball and football. So.
Which is funny because those are my two favorite sports, so that makes
interesting.
sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what did you pick? What is your number one favorite sports movie out of all of the sports movies that were options?
This one was pretty tough because obviously, like for you with Moneyball, probably it's just a lot of nostalgia with Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
But then Caddyshack is just really one of the funniest films.
Yeah.
That my friends and I can quote on and off. So I went with Caddyshack.
There's my guy. There's my podcast partner. Making the right call.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. You're a better person than I am. So my two were Moneyball and Remember the Titans, and I went nostalgia all the way, and I went with Moneyball.
Such a funny classic film.
Hilarious. Not that either of them are funny.
Well, Moneyball,
is very serious. But yeah, Moneyball was my number one, which makes sense.
Which is funny because you had Brad Pitt in yours, and I had Bill Murray. So
that's true.
You have Jonah Hill, and I have Chevy Chase. So yeah, who's to compare? Who's better?
I don't need your judgment, Helen.
And Rodney Dangerfield. Who else is in Moneyball?
Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, okay, Chris Pratt.
Star-Lord, thank you.
Star-Lord.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me started on this movie.
Well,
I will
Ted
go for
Knight
days.
over here. Don't make me say Ted Knight in.
I really enjoyed that bracket. There were a few movies that were kind of missing for me though, which made me sad. Like I understand that you can't make it some huge thing, and like I totally get it, but was there anything missing for you that you like?
There were a ton missing. My goodness. Like when I saw Longest Yard, I actually thought Gridiron Gang for some reason.
Oh yeah.
It's like, why is that missing? It's like, oh, that's not that movie.
Yeah. Yep.
With The Rock and Exhibit. Little Giants is in here. Any Given Sunday.
Yeah. Oh my God! No kidding.
Brian's Song. Hello.
Yes.
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Other football films you have.
Yeah, I noted that Draft Day was not on there, and I love that movie. Watch it every year on Draft Day.
Well, it's just drafting. It's not actually. It's kind of like Jerry Maguire. It's
right. Yeah.
Business side of it.
Right.
And Moneyball. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. 42 wasn't on there, and I thought that was a freaking travesty. That is one of my favorite baseball movies. It's God damn it, it's so good. With Chadwick Boseman. Oh my God, I love that movie. Dodgeball wasn't on there. What the heezy? Come on. How do you leave that out?
ESPN 8, The Ocho.
Exactly. Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Bill Durham. Or Bull Durham.
Bull. Yeah.
Words.
Bill.
Oh, Bill. But yeah, Bull Durham. So there were some films that I was like, well, it's kind of rude of them, but that's
like Trouble with the Curve, Hoosiers.
Yes. Oh God,
ones.
Hoosiers.
Yeah. Bleed for This was a good boxing movie. I thought that was really good.
Yeah. Southpaw even. It's a good boxing movie.
Yeah. Southpaw.
And even like a new movie, The Way Back with Ben Affleck about basketball. It's another one where it's like only partially about the sport, but still, I mean, it's a pretty big part. But
and like Warrior, I know it's more about UFC fighting, but still, a sport movie. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like you could easily make a second bracket with all the films that were not included.
Yeah.
And then maybe make those two brackets go up against each other. No.
Yeah, go full NCAA major motion picture, sports movies.
Yes.
which is like 4 times the size of this or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're listening and you have like a favorite sports movie that wasn't on this list, throw it, like, tell us about it. Yeah, throw it in the comments on Facebook or Instagram or something. Like, what is missing for you? What's like a film about a sport that maybe influenced you growing up, or that you love, that really stuck with you, that you're a homer about, like me with Moneyball and Alan with Mighty Ducks. Yeah, I'm sure most of you will say Mighty Ducks.
There was that one about the twins back in the day. What was that, Hometown Catch or something?
What? Oh my gosh, Angels in the Outfield. I'm just going to keep thinking about movies. This is going to drive me nuts. And they're all going to be about baseball. Yeah. But these were fun. This was good.
Yeah. So that's our sports movies podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
To us probably make decisions you don't agree with.
And endure with. No.
Yeah. But.
All right. Well, for Film in Minnesota, you guys, I'm Alan Tracy.
I'm Rahana Power.
And we'll see you guys next time.